We tend to obsess over the what of a security breach, right? The payload, the specific CVE, the 0-day.
Mm-hmm.
But looking at the source stack today, especially the 2024 iSoon leak and the 2025 Mackay Memorial Hospital attack, the technical stuff almost feels secondary.
It really does. The real story here is the who.
The who, exactly.
It shifts the whole conversation to what we call adversary-focused intelligence. I mean, if you're just chasing hashes and IP addresses, you're just playing whack-a-mole.
Right.
You have to understand the business model behind the keyboard.
And business model is not a metaphor here. When we dig into the iSoon or ANXA documents from 2024, we aren't seeing some shadowy spy agency.
No, not at all. You're seeing a contractor with a sales deck?
A sales deck. It's incredible.
That leak was a watershed moment. It, exposed the complete industrialization of state-sponsored espionage.
So this is a private firm.
A private firm in Chengdu, yeah. Explicitly marketing offensive cyber services, custom malware, C2 infrastructure, outsourced intrusions, all for their state-linked clients.
It's a way to launder the attribution, isn't it? The state gets plausible deniability, and the contractor gets paid.
Precisely. And when you read their internal chats and product lists, it feels remarkably, well, mundane.
Mundane is the right word. It's like they were selling CRM software, but the product was actually remote access to a country's telecom system.
It creates a full-on supply chain for advanced, persistent threats. As a defender, you're not just up against one nation-state's cyber unit anymore.
You're up against a whole marketplace.
A competitive marketplace of vendors who are all incentivized to find and stockpile exploits. It just multiplies the offensive capacity exponentially.
So you have this corporate efficiency on the state side.
Mm.
But what really struck me about the Mackay Memorial Hospital attack in 2025 is how those professional tactics are now bleeding into the criminal world.
Mm-hmm. That's the key takeaway. This wasn't just a smash and grab.
No.
The Crazy Hunter group in Taiwan showed a level of sophistication we usually associate with APTs. They didn't just encrypt 600 computers.
They also stole the data.
Exactly. They exfiltrated 16.6 million records and immediately went to auction it on the dark web.
That's the double extortion model. But with this specific kind of arrogance, the ransom note wasn't just some generic template.
Oh, not at all.
They called out the security firm by name, Team T5.
That note was so telling. It said, "Didn't you say you could defend and stop us? XA. This made me laugh to death.
Wow.
That's not just criminal posturing, that's counterintelligence. They knew exactly who the incident response team was, what security products were there, and they knew they'd bypass them.
So it signals that these financially motivated groups, at least in APAC, are really closing the gap with state-level actors. They're not just scanning for open ports anymore.
No, they're doing reconnaissance on the defenders themselves.
Which brings it all back to your point.
It's why adversary-focused intelligence is so critical. If you treat Crazy Hunter like a simple script kiddie, you're gonna lose.
Because your response will be wrong.
Completely. If you know their strategy involves auctioning patient data to get more leverage, your incident response can't just be restore from the backup.
Because restoring the servers doesn't stop the data auction from happening.
Exactly. The damage control immediately shifts to legal, to PR, to notifying stakeholders before that auction goes live. The identity of the adversary dictates your defense strategy. The malware variant is secondary.
It really hammers home that we need to stop looking at this as a purely technical problem and start treating it more like, counterespionage.
You have to map the ecosystem. The iSoon leak showed us the corporate structure of the attackers. Mackay showed us how their business models are evolving.
So if you're not tracking their whole trajectory, how they hire, how they sell, how they monetize, you're basically defending against last year's attack.
You're always one step behind.
It's a pretty stark reminder. It leaves you with this final thought. If your adversary has a P&L statement, a marketing budget, and a supply chain, are you really fighting a technical bug? Or are you fighting a rival corporation?